This is the Manga Xanadu Manga Dome podcast. I am your host, Laurie Henderson. Join me on this journey into the world of manga, where a river of reviews flow through caverns of commentary down into the latest news. Welcome to the Manga Dome. eManga releases weekly Astro Boy magazine. eManga, the digital manga arm of Digital Manga Publishing, has announced another new series to their lineup, Weekly Astro Boy magazine. Now, it may sound like it's all about Astro Boy, but really it's a serialization magazine of several of Osamu Tezuka's best-known titles. Obviously, Astro Boy is in there, but it also includes chapters from Phoenix, Buddha, Blackjack, Dororo, Adolf, and Ode to Kirihito. All of these titles have been made available in print. All but Phoenix and Astro Boy are available from Vertical Ink. But if you missed out on them, or they are a little beyond your price point, as many volumes of Phoenix are, you can get the first 10 issues right now. They are $4.99 each, with the caveat that they can only be read online. I'm not sure how well this is going to go over with some manga fans so soon after J-Manga's closing, but Tezuka is a strong pull, as companies who put his titles on Kickstarter have found, DMP included. We'll have to see if this is enough to be a deal breaker, though. Seven Seas announces another license. Once again, Seven Seas Entertainment forgoes the cons, but still has license announcements. This week, there's just one. Zero's Familiar Chevalier is a 4-volume sequel series to Zero's Familiar, a manga that is an adaptation of a light novel series. Seven Seas has been releasing the first 7-volume series as 3 omnibus editions. This new series will be released as individual volumes. Zero's Familiar is about a bumbling witch in training that accidentally summons a teenage boy named Saito from Earth. The magic binds them into a master-servant relationship. The series description sounds a little familiar, doesn't it? It sounds a lot like another series Seven Seas announced last week, Dragon R Academy. I didn't feel it for the first series, so I don't see me feeling it for the sequel. Viz Manga Top 10 Bestsellers. An interesting trend is starting to show in the Viz Manga Top 10 titles. Looking at the week of May 21st, 2013, once again there are 7 shonen and only 3 shoujo on the list. Retaking its number 1 spot from Cross-Manage is Naruto Volume 61, which only had to move up 1 spot. From Far Away changes both spots and volumes as Volume 8 moves up 1 from Volume 7 last week. Black Cat Volume 1 debuts on the list at number 3, while Red River Volume 8 jumps 5 spots from Volume 7 at number 9 last week. 2 weeks after debuting on the site, series Celestial Legend Volume 1 comes in at number 5. Nisekoi Volume 3 makes another move up 1 to number 6, while Flame of Recca Volume 10 moves up 3 to number 7 from Volume 8's position at number 10 last week. Case Close Volume 6 falls 2 from Volume 4's spot at number 6 to number 8. Last week's number 1, Cross-Manage, falls 8 spots to number 9, and newcomer to the list, The Prince of Tennis Volume 39, rounds it out at number 10. While the volume numbers keep changing, there are some surprising consistencies on the list. Naruto and Nisekoi aren't really too surprising since they are titles that run in Weekly Shonen Jump. But of the non-Shonen Jump titles, Case Close has remained with only volumes turning over. Seeing Red River and From Far Away hang on in the top 5 is really cool. I wonder, though, about the persistence of ratio of shonen to shoujo. There are nearly twice as much shoujo to shonen titles on the site, but shonen takes the majority of the list. It is quite a puzzle. Review. Mobile Suit Gundam, The Origin, Volume 1, Activation. Mobile Suit Gundam is a series I've been interested in for a while. That shouldn't be too surprising considering I married a diehard fan of the anime. For that is how Mobile Suit Gundam started, as an anime in 1979. The first series didn't do so well and only lasted 43 of the originally planned 52 episodes, but found new life through the plastic toy models created by Bandai and soon returned with several more series over the years, becoming a staple in mecha anime. This manga is written and drawn by Yoshikazu Yatsuhiko, who worked on the original anime where he worked in almost every aspect of visual design, including the character designs. It is a limited edition hardback published by Vertical Ink. It has an age rating of teen and is science fiction. The volume goes for $29.95 US retail. Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin begins with some background information. Man has moved out to colonize the stars. Huge space colonies called Sides orbit Earth. Side 3, the furthest colony from Earth, declares itself the Principality of Xeon and goes to war with Earth. Man's capacity for destruction becomes apparent as in just 1 month, both sides are able to kill off half of humanity's total population. The two sides fall into a stalemate. The story begins 8 months later. Xeon forces have come to Side 7, a neutral side in the war, to investigate rumors of a new Federation mobile suit being developed there. Meanwhile, a Federation supply ship comes to Side 7, which is more than it seems. The rumors turn out to be true, and fighting between the Xeon and Federation forces destroyed Side 7, turning the supply ship White Base into a rescue ship. But with the new prototype mobile suit on board, the Gundam RX-78, the Xeon forces, led by the dreaded Char, the Red Comet, is determined to keep it from returning to Earth. The crew of the White Base, now made up of mostly new recruits or civilians, must fight every step of the way. Mobile Suit Gundam is an ensemble series, so there's a fairly large cast. The hero of the series is Amuro Ray. He is first introduced while hacking into his father's computer where he discovers the specs for the Gundam. He is very much the teenage boy as he leaves his place a mess, isn't too concerned about his appearance, and is resistant to authority. He is also the only person qualified to fly the Gundam. It puts him into a prickly position with Noah Bright, a junior officer on White Base who becomes its captain when its current captain, Paolo, is injured. Bright is very uptight about regulations and following orders, and Amuro's attitude doesn't help things. They start butting heads from the very beginning. Fortunately, there are several female characters to mediate between them. Sayla is part of the volunteer medical team on Side 7, but takes over as communications officer on White Base to keep Bright and Noah from going at it during battles. Fra Bo is Amuro's neighbor, who seems to spend all of her time being his babysitter, which she continues to do on the White Base as well as mediating. Mirai Yashima becomes the pilot of the White Base and is another recruit like Sayla. She is calm and level-headed and keeps Bright focused. Rounding out the regulars are Ryu and Hayato, who take over manning an older mech, the gun tank, and Kai, a Weasley-looking guy, takes on the gun cannon. The villain for the majority of the first volume is Char, the Xeon Zaku pilot known as the Red Comet. He got his nickname due to his speed, 5 times that of a regular Zaku. He is a very confident and cool character. His reputation as a pilot gives him some immunity to backlash as he loses a whole platoon at Side 7, but is still able to get reinforcements. Char is a mysterious character, as he always wears a mask, hiding his true identity. His face is revealed to us in this volume, but it only deepens his mystery as there appears to be a connection between him and Sayla. Mobile Suit Gundam is a hard sci-fi series. It takes the physics of space travel very seriously. Aboard White Base, most of the ship doesn't have gravity, so people are shown floating down corridors and using handrails. Unlike other mecha shows at the time, Gundam doesn't use robots that combine to make bigger robots. The mechs are more extensions of the pilots, like exoskeletons, so that they can move and fight. Amuro may have some knowledge of the mech because of the specs he saw, but there is a lot he doesn't know, which shows in his battles, especially at the beginning. Later, it becomes his inexperience in battle that becomes more of an obstacle. This is another thing that gives the series its sense of realism. Most of the characters are going into battle for the first time with some or no training whatsoever. They are shown to be scared and make mistakes. But with their lives, as well as the lives of the refugees on the line, fighting is their only alternative. Amuro doesn't relish being the Gundam's pilot, but he isn't given much choice. This realism helped make the series much more enjoyable for me. The series is also filled with lots of battles. There are battles on Side 7, space battles outside Side 7, on the way to Luna 2, the lone Federation military base, at and in Luna 2, and just as White Base enters the Earth's atmosphere. There is a lot of maneuvering, lots of weapons being fired, and lots of people dying. I've heard some people say they found the volume to be too technical or the battles too confusing. I honestly didn't have a problem with the battles. They were no different from most shonen battles, though I found Gundam's battles more interesting. Even with all of the battles, the story moves at a brisk pace, and time is found for character development, both between battles and during them. I didn't find any of the technobabble to be a problem. There was only one term I had a problem with that I wish had gotten some explanation: Minovsky particles. From the context, it seemed to have something to do with jamming radar, but I wish a real explanation had been given for Gundam novices like me. I had to have my husband explain them. Another thing left unexplained, but will hopefully get further developed, is the seemingly psychic connection between Char, Sayla, and Amuro. When Char infiltrates Luna 2, both Sayla and Amuro sense him coming. Their expressions give the feeling that something very strange and eerie is going on, but given the sci-fi context, I don't think it's anything magical. I really enjoyed Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin. Yasuhiko's art is very fine for the characters, but can also be detailed for the mecha. I like the simpler, cleaner lines for the characters. Vertical pulled out all of the stops for this edition, with a hardback cover and colored pages interspersed throughout the volume. The paper quality is also very fine, making the title worth its $30 price tag. While the presentation is very nice, it's really the story that makes this series worth reading. The cast of characters are strong and very likable, even when they are being annoying. I really like the conflict between Bright and Amuro. I just really liked Bright, even though he could be an ass at times. Char is a villain you love to hate, as he foils Whitebase and Amuro again and again, but never enough to stop them. Just slow them down. The only characters I can say I truly loathe are the trio of kids that get used as comedy relief. They feel very out of place in the midst of the drama that drives this title at times. Fortunately, they've been kept at a minimum so far. I hope it remains so. If you've only had an inkling of an interest in Gundam, I would highly recommend checking out this volume. It follows the basic storyline of the anime, but changes some things, such as Sayla and Char's first meeting, as well as deepens some of the character development. After reading this volume, I asked my husband to show me the series, and we watched the compilation movies. Even though I've seen the series for the most part, I'm still looking forward to reading the manga. The differences only whet my appetite more. I give Mobile Suit Gundam: The Origin, Volume 1, Activation, a 5 out of 5 stars. Thank you for listening to the Manga Xanadu Manga Dome podcast. You can find links to the stories and books discussed here in the show notes at manga.jdragononline.com. You can email me with any questions at xanadu@jdragononline.com or leave a comment on this post. Rate me on YouTube and follow me on Twitter at Manga Xanadu, all one word. Until next time, farewell from the Manga Dome.